What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Man, the title race is on in the Premier League, and it's taken quite a drastic turn. For some, it was a turn for the worst. But anyway, it was a twist and a turn nonetheless. But hey, in Germany, though, the title race is wrapped up. It is done. It is finished. And it is none other than Bayer Leverkusen and Xabi Alonso and his men who have taken the Bundesliga title. After 11 straight titles
to
Bayern Munich. Wow. I should not have paused that much.
Yeah, should we be happy or sad? It sounds like
I was trying to emphasize it, but anyway. But I don't know why I started pausing. Anyway, this is What the Football. That is a What the Football moment. Let's get into it. So Judah,
Yes, sir.
is that not a What the Football moment? Leverkusen winning their Bundesliga title for the first time in Xabi Alonso's first full season in charge as a manager.
Yeah.
And winning it unbeaten.
If that is not a What the Football moment, I don't know what is. I really don't know what is, bro. It's a fairy tale.
Yeah.
It's a fairy tale. It's something we have seen build all the way through the season. We've said, okay, yeah, at some point it was 7 points or so, 8 points. Then it became 10 points, then became 13 points, and became 16-point gap between Leverkusen, who we are never losing.
Wow, that's a good one. That's
And that's a What the Football moment also.
Yeah.
So that was Leverkusen, who were never losing. 16 points between them in first and Bayern Munich in second. I don't know if that would happen again.
So
I really don't. 16 points gap. I don't think that's something we see often in the Bundesliga. So yeah, the last time Bayern did not win it, it was a certain Dortmund coached by a certain Jurgen Klopp. But I'm not sure it was a 16-point gap. As at when they won it, though. I'm not saying at the end of the season and all of that. And even Bayern are level on points with Stuttgart.
yeah.
So second and third are both on level points. So it's just a fairy tale. There's so much we can say.
Yeah.
But it's a fairy tale season. So yes, it is a What the Football moment.
So you said Leverkusen never losing.
Yeah.
Won the season, cruising.
You added that one. Good one. Good one. They're actually cruising because they still haven't lost.
See that?
I see that. Leverkusen, who are never losing, are cruising all the way through the season. Beautiful. Just beautiful.
I always try to see if there's a rhyme, how far we can take that rhyme.
We could try. Or we could put it out there for people to give it a shot.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
We'll put it out
That's
there.
a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
At least we've done the Leverkusen, who are never losing.
Cruising
in the season.
In a season, and let's see how far you can take that.
Let's see how far people can take that. Yeah. That's beautiful, though.
Anyway, but that was exciting for Leverkusen.
Yes, it is. It still is. I feel
it still is. Yeah, it's not over actually. They've won the title, but there's 5 games to play still.
Yeah,
something like that.
Thereabouts. Yeah, 5 more games thereabouts to go. Is it 5? I guess whatever it is, they've won it. Anyway.
There's a few games, yeah.
Yeah, but the season is not over.
Right, yeah.
There are a few more games to play, but they've done the business.
Yep.
They've done their job. I think the next thing is to think through, now that they've won the league, do they just want to relax and focus on the Europa League, where they're already in the quarterfinals. They've won West Ham in the first leg, and they come to London in a few days to play in the second leg against West Ham.
Yeah.
And they have the DFB Pokal final. So they could actually end the season with a treble.
Yeah.
But the idea for me is, do they want to keep that unbeaten run going? Especially in the league, now that they've won it. Do they want to keep motivating themselves to go into every game and still want to win?
I mean, with the form that they've had this season, I don't see why not. Like, they've had an incredible form. Even at times when it felt like maybe they could have lost a match, they came back and
they scored a lot of late goals.
You know,
a lot of late goals this season.
So I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if they end the season unbeaten.
The whole season unbeaten.
Yep, and I also wouldn't be surprised with the form they've had if they end up with a treble. You know, but something that I came across recently was about how, if you look at the stats and the numbers, Bayern Munich they haven't had a bad season. Their season has been pretty decent.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that Leverkusen have had an incredible season.
Yes.
That's like, and that has to, you can't kind of, you can't put that to the side. You have to acknowledge that, right?
Yeah. So you can say Bayern have not had their best season, but it's also not like a disaster of a season.
No, it's just that Bayern Leverkusen have just been very, very good.
Leverkusen are just never losing. So it's hard to fight against that. Although some of the games that Bayern have lost this season have been unexpected, like losing at home to Dortmund is something that has not happened in years. Losing out of the DFB Pokal to a team that was in, I think, Division 2 in Bundesliga is also something that shouldn't be happening. So they've had some of the games where stuff has happened and you go, that should not be happening to Bayern Munich. The week before, this weekend they just played Cologne, which they won 2-0 at home. The week before they lost 3-2, or the week before that, to a team that's struggling with relegation. And in that game, Bayern were 2-0 up by halftime. So you have games like that where you go, this should not be happening to Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. But as you say, Bayern Leverkusen are just a level above everybody this season, at least in the Bundesliga for sure. They're the team to beat. They're definitely in the Champions League next season. So, fairy tale. This is a great time to be alive as a Bayer Leverkusen fan, because if you don't have kids, or if you do have kids, you can actually sit with your grandkids later and tell them, I was there when we won our very first league title in 120 years. So it's legendary stuff, man.
It is, and long may it continue, I guess, for them.
Let's see.
It'd be a cool thing. It'd be a cool thing to start a new legacy. But let's talk about the team that has won it for 11 straight seasons. And has missed out this season.
Sad for them, but I think it's good for the league that they didn't win it.
It's sure, yeah.
I think for the league as something that people want to watch, as something that TV guys are paying money for broadcasting rights and all of that. To have one team win it for 12 straight years, I don't know if that is helpful. I can't think of there are a few words in my head, but I don't want to use those ones. I don't think that's helpful. It's supposed to be a competition.
It's not really a competition for 12 straight seasons.
If one team wins it for 12 straight seasons, is it still a competition?
That's a good point.
So, and that's my perspective. I'm not saying that every other person thinks this way.
Sure,
So like to the average Bayern Munchen fan, he doesn't care. But when you think through global viewing and all of that, for me as a person, is it still a competition if one team wins it 12 straight years?
That's a good point,
For me, I feel like while Bayern Munich will not be happy, definitely. Tommy Tuchel will not be happy because living on this note kind of solves whatever he had done last season, which he didn't do so much. Because when he got in last season, they were still in 3 tournaments and he won only the Bundesliga. And that was because Dortmund did what they did. And they didn't win the game they were supposed to win. But that's by the way, though. So when you think through all of that, you go, I think it's better for the league that Leverkusen wins it. And this is me being a neutral. I'm not a Leverkusen guy. I'm not a Bayern fan or whatever. This is just me looking at it from the outside and going, it's better for this league. One of the reasons why the Premier League is the Premier League is I don't think, I really hope that the Premier League doesn't get to a point where City will say, we've won 11 straight times.
But after this weekend, that's literally what I was thinking.
I'm like,
I was like, please,
if
no.
they win it this time,
please.
it will be the 4th straight time, which
Yes.
nobody has done.
Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that. Dude.
Yeah, so the highest anyone has gone is City and United. 3 consecutive titles.
Yeah.
No team has done it 4.
Yeah.
I believe I'm correct. I don't think any team has won 4 consecutive Premier League titles.
Yeah, and hopefully that doesn't.
Well, let's see how it goes with what Arsenal and Liverpool have done this weekend.
Well, okay, we'll get to
but
that.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
But we're talking about Bayern Munich or München, however you say it.
Same.
But a certain player from Spurs, well, 2 of them, I guess.
Yeah.
But one of them specifically
left
to
win
a
happy.
trophy. Well, I'm just saying, like, on the one side you got, Spurs player who left to win a trophy and lost out on what some would call a short trophy.
Well, if you're going to a team who have won it 11 times, you would assume that's
right.
That's good, but yeah.
And then you got Granit Xhaka who left Arsenal after a season where they could have won the league. Well, he goes and wins it with Leverkusen.
Yeah. Now, the funny thing is, there are 2 ex-Spurs players in Bayern. There's Eric Dyer.
Yeah, that's what I said too, yeah.
Yeah, so there's Dyer and Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Now, Dyer comes mid-season. He didn't come and all of that. There's a story of, is this the Kane curse or whatever? We'll get to that if we need to. I don't know. But speaking about Granit, I think it's great for Granit.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm not an Arsenal guy, but I feel like for Granit, it's beautiful stuff. And there's the video with Frimpong of, Granit, my G. Tell them we won the league.
Yeah.
You left Arsenal and you won it. That was just a beautiful video by Frimpong. But I think for Granit, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
He scores a screamer also. The second goal was his goal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he got a goal. So Boniface started the party. Then Xhaka gets the second goal.
Which one were 5-0?
Yeah, they won 5. So Xhaka gets a great goal for the second one. Then Florian Wirtz finishes the stuff. But I think for Granit, it's beautiful. Especially because I think through his history with Arsenal, history in the sense that I remember the game where he was taking off and even the fans booed him and he did all the gestures and stuff, and there was all that discussion about should he be captain and all that, and then even Unai tried to help him out a bit, then Arteta help came, and I think under Arteta it was clear that whatever issue that there was, it had been settled. He was beginning to enjoy his game and all of that. I did feel though that the way he left Arsenal, Granit has gone. Now, I didn't expect Arsenal to okay, you could still do that, but I don't expect him to have a statue of him outside the Emirates like Titi does. But to go to the Bundesliga, to leave not supposedly, a bigger club like Arsenal for Leverkusen. Some people would have thought, he's getting to that stage where he's no longer at his best anymore and all this and all that. Then to go to a team like Leverkusen, that's definitely, I don't think Leverkusen is as big a club as Arsenal. And to go there in his 30s and do what he has done. Now, he's not one of the players who Xabi would bring on in the last 10 minutes. He's a consistent player in the team. So I think for him, I'm so happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So happy for Granit.
Granit Xhaka's story has actually been a very beautiful, developmental, almost kind of like a redemption story. Because he actually played in the Bundesliga before Arsenal. I forget who he was with.
Yeah, he did.
Was it... I forget the name of the club. Anyway, but he was with the club there, and then comes to Arsenal.
You might just have been Leverkusen.
No, I don't think it was Leverkusen. I think it was Mönchengladbach.
Mönchengladbach. Possibly.
That's the one. That's a tongue twister for me.
It's all right.
But I think that's who he played for.
Yeah.
And then he comes to Arsenal. Was with Arsenal for quite a while. Right before Mikel's season, he's ready to basically move on. Like there were huge reports of him wanting to go to like.
But Mikel came mid-season.
Yep. So I mean, things were already pretty bad with Unai Emery, who I can say a lot about, but I won't. But
we'll get there, bro. The guy came to the Emirates and dealt with you guys.
I hate every time it comes to him. I want us to like get to a point where we can thrash any team that he plays like 5-6-0, 8-0, 9-0, 10-0. I want us to destroy his teams.
Before this whatever happened, I think he also knocked you guys out of Europe.
Yeah.
So
we have a lot of beef. I wish nothing but the worst to Unai Emery. In football, not in life. In football.
Please make that clear.
Yeah, in football,
please make that
not
clear.
In life.
Yeah.
Hope for the best for him in life.
Yeah.
But like, what was I saying?
Granit's redemption story.
Yeah. Like, so there were downs, but then there were ups as well. He was one of actually, I think, the only players that was left by the time by last season who had been brought in by Arsene Wenger. I think he was the last player left. If I may be wrong, but if just remembering all the players that had come in like towards Arsene Wenger's like last seasons, I think all of them had left by that point, and so I think he was the only player. But
who brought in Cedric?
I think it was Unai.
Oh, possibly. Okay.
Or maybe it was Arteta.
That's fine.
I think it was Arteta. Anyway, but yeah, his story, just seeing, like what happened, but then how Mikel, kind of like brought him back and was like, we need you here, kind of thing. And also just like helping him, see his role differently in the team. I think that gave him a lot of confidence to go, okay, I can continue on, but also he has an incredible mentality. He's a very, very strong, he's a professional. He's very professional. I think he also kind of grew in that. He figured out a way to like take his passion and kind of direct it in a certain way instead of like just go crazy, his aggression.
There was a time when it felt like he couldn't help it. Yeah, with red cards and all that stuff and bust ups and yeah, that's true.
But he in a way he was able to redirect his passion, and like still keep it, but not like go completely out of control.
That makes sense.
And I think that's a good thing, and I do know, like, I think Mikel had a huge part to play in that, in helping him kind of like redefine himself as a player. And that helped him, going to Leverkusen and doing that. And so, I mean, it's great for him.
No, I'm so happy for him. Yeah. So happy for him. I think it's beautiful.
So, congratulations to Xhaka. Congratulations to Xabi Alonso. All the Bayer Leverkusen team.
Everybody at Bayer Leverkusen. Champions. And you can't do this in 1 week. You have to do this consistent. To win a league, you must have points on the board week on week.
Yep.
Also, big shout out to Xabi Alonso, because when he joined Leverkusen, they were in a relegation fight.
Yeah, that's right.
Last season when he joined. And in less than 2 years, we're talking like 18 months, thereabouts, they are champions, going unbeaten. As of now, they're still unbeaten. So that's beautiful stuff. For someone like Kingsley Coman, I think he has to now get used to a season with no league title, which has never happened to him in his professional career.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I remember him at PSG, Ligue 1, Juventus, Serie A, and now Bayern. And he went to clubs he played in clubs that had a huge level of, should I say, dominance on their local leagues. So PSG and Ligue 1, it's like, we don't have anything to say about that. It is what it is.
Right.
There was the time where Juventus had a stronghold on the Ligue 1 also.
Yep.
If you remember, I think Maurizio Sarri won the league and still got fired. Yeah. So because to them, the league was their birthright. So you are giving us what we already have. We need something. What we need is something we don't have. So he still got fired. even after winning the league.
I don't watch a lot of Serie A, so I don't know a lot, but like that's arrogance at the highest level.
He still got fired. Because I think in the Champions League, he was knocked out. Level. I think he was knocked out in Champions League, around 16 in the quarterfinals. Won the league, still got fired.
That's crazy.
So it is what it is. So for Kingsley Coman, this is his first season in his professional career without a league trophy.
Wow.
Without a league trophy.
Wow.
Now, he could still win the UCL. Bayern could still win the UCL. That would be good news for Kane and Dyer anyway. But they have to go through you guys.
That's true.
And we will get there when we get to the Champions League stuff. So, shout out to Leverkusen.
Yeah. Amazing. Let's talk about the Premier League, I guess. Is there anything more we can share about the Bundesliga? I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, that's the main thing. We know who the champions are. We're not following so much what the relegation fight is like. So,
yeah.
Same. As at this weekend, Leverkusen champions, Bayern second, same points with Stuttgart, Dortmund are, I think they're fourth. So the race for Champions League football, that's you know, I think you should know who will be there at the end of the season. So I don't think there's any other big stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. Premier League.
Yes.
Well, City win.
They did.
Comfortably.
Oh, yeah. 5-1 at home to Luton. I think that game, City were... I would say City. I'd say maybe the fans were not sure what was going to happen because the first goal was pretty early in the game. Like a minute and some seconds thereabouts. And it was a deflection of Hashioka's head. So by the time you get your first goal that early in the game, you would hope that by halftime you'll be 3-0 up.
Yeah.
But by halftime, it was still that lone goal. So I felt like, and this is football, 1-0 is very, very risky.
Yep.
Winning 1-0 is, you're not guaranteed of anything until the final whistle.
Yep.
Not just winning 1-0, winning by a goal difference. You could ask United when they visited Chelsea what they went through and all of that. So I feel like having to start the second half still just a long goal up, there might have been some tension. But to see the way City ran to make it 3-0, so even when Barkley gets one to make it 3-1, I'm like, game is gone. But they still make it 5-1 anyway. So
yeah, the thing is like, when I watched a little bit of it, and I fell asleep watching it, surprisingly, actually. But as I'm watching it, I'm like, how is this still 1-0?
Yeah.
You know? So, like, for me, like, I wasn't really about attention. For me, I was watching going like, okay, when are they going to score all the rest of the goals?
Yeah, you will still expect goals to come in. But shout out to Luton, though. They did a lot of defending.
They did, actually.
They worked for each other as a team. You could see everybody covering up for each other and all. Although I felt like in doing that, they had no attacking threat.
Yeah.
So like in the first half, they had little to nothing.
Really
and they did all they could. And that was really impressive to see. As a team, they defended. But towards the end of the game, you can see that minds are tired. The body is tired. You can't do that for 90 minutes. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
Like the penalty which Onyedinma gives away to Doku, you can see that the guy is tired. By the time Doku moves 1-2, he just stretches. It's just lazy defending.
Yep.
And what can you say? But the funny thing is, this is a City team that didn't play Phil Foden, didn't play Rodri, didn't play Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
And I believe that's with an eye on the game against Real Madrid in the week. But even without those guys, you could see how they're just a well-oiled machine.
Well, yeah, I mean,
when they're in their zone,
they have talent on and off the pitch. Like, they have talent on the bench, they have talent on the field. Like, City are not like some of the other clubs in the Premier League who, like, have a really solid starting 11, but some of the subs don't work. Yeah. Like, their subs and their, main starting 11, they're all pretty much almost the same.
Great guys.
The only thing is, which was, I think, a big deal for them, was that they've relied a lot on Rodri, and they've lost a lot of matches without Rodri.
Yeah.
I think this was the first time in about a year or more than a year that, like,
I think more than
Rodri was on the bench or not playing. and
he was available.
Yeah. And they won.
Yeah, in the Premier League at least.
In the Premier League, yeah. I think it was October 2022.
Great stuff. Well, that it also shows you how important he is to the team.
Yes.
Now I feel like if that game was City Arsenal, Pep would play order.
Absolutely.
If that was City, even City Spurs, Pep would play order.
Sure, yeah.
Now we know that before that game there were some statements that at least were quoted that were made by Rodri, like he actually needed to rest. So he had gone game after game after game after game after game, and he felt like I actually need some rest. So
interesting.
Yeah. So I feel like Pep was doing that also because the player has actually insinuated that he is tired.
Yeah.
And
so he explicitly said that?
Yeah, that's what I saw online. I didn't watch an interview, but I saw online where it was quoted that he actually asked for a rest. I think Pep even said it in his pre-match conference or something.
Wow.
Yeah, so the guy actually asked for a rest, and he's human. Yeah. He is human. And City is that kind of a team that are going for so many trophies. So at the end of the season, they're playing a game every 3 days.
Yeah. See, but this says something about Pep too, which again, like Pep's man management, skills and all of that stuff is, like a card above others, like it's like he's not like just doing this to go, okay, Real Madrid's coming up. He's also like showing the player, I'm hearing you,
Well, as I said, if he was going to play Arsenal, he won't hear him. If he was going to play Spurs,
it's about timing, right? Like, they got Luton at the right time.
I felt like he had
worked out.
Gone, this will work out. Yeah. I think anyway, Luton won't come to the Etihad and try to play expansive football. We'll kill them anyway. So I feel like, as you said, it worked out really well for Rodri. So that's City at home to Luton. What team you want to go next with?
Liverpool.
All right, so Liverpool at home to Crystal Palace. Fresh off a 3-0 defeat at home to Atalanta in the Europa League, which was a shock, to be honest.
Yeah.
To lose 3-0 at home at Anfield, European night. Now, I know it's Europa League, but still a European tournament anyway. And then to come off that, you think, okay, they will want to prove something to the fans and show that Anfield is still Anfield.
Yep.
And then they play Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace get a goal in like the 14th minute thereabouts, easy. And Liverpool create a lot of chances. They press, they do all that, but they don't get a goal. So they lose at home again.
Unlucky, man. 1-0, unlucky.
I tell you, man.
Because they had so many chances.
And you could see when the Eze goal goes in, Pep is like, not Pep, Klopp is like, wow. You could actually see the camera goes to his face. And you could read his lips. He was like, wow.
I think he was really frustrated with the defending that
because
day.
The goal was a fruit of like 6 to 7 one-touch passes. It was one touch, one touch, one touch, one touch, one touch, one touch cross, one touch goal.
Yeah.
And he was like, wow.
I think with the defending, he was just in shock, like, what's going on?
Yeah. Minutes later, Mateta is through on goal because Van Dijk slips. And the only reason that didn't become 2-0 was because of Robertson's clearance on the line. So you look at that and you go, he's definitely not happy. Because you remember the game against United, not the FA Cup one, the Premier League one, which they played 2-2. He was so pissed by the goals that they considered. And you could see him shouting and berating on the touchline. I now understand why he would need a break. You look at that and you go, he does need it.
But credit to Crystal Palace, man. They had some incredible defending as well. Basically off the line.
Like Mitchell had a block on an effort from Salah. That was great.
Anderson, I think, had one like a goal line clearance.
It was a great game. Even in that, I think Mateta also had a chance in the second half, which Alisson saves with his hand. That was like, I think that game was a great game to watch.
Yeah.
neutral perspective.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
I watched the second half.
If you're a Liverpool guy, no.
Yeah.
Because your heart's in your mouth all the time.
Well, I felt bad for Liverpool because I was like, man, look at all these chances. Bro.
So it wasn't like they weren't creating. They were creating chances. They just couldn't put it in the back of the net.
I could feel
even I think it was Curtis Jones who missed a 1v1 with the goalie.
Oh yeah,
that was, and I'm like, what a game! What a game!
Unlucky. Unlucky.
Yeah, but at this stage of the season, you need everything to go for you.
That's true.
Not against you.
That's true.
Yeah. But Sunday, it was a Sunday.
It was a Sunday, and it was
maybe they need to go to church.
Well, you know, Arsenal also had a terrible.
For you guys, you guys need to go to church Friday and Sunday.
All weekend. All weekend, man.
And I feel like I think I said this earlier to you. I feel like for Arsenal, the Liverpool game had finished before kickoff for Arsenal Villa. And I felt like Arsenal, knowing that Liverpool had lost, should have actually been motivated to.
You would think so,
to take Villa and tear them apart. Now, I'm not saying that Villa is an easy team to play.
No, yeah.
So we do have to recognize that. This is an Unai Emery team. Unai Emery is a great coach. He knows this stuff. He has a great team with Oli Watkins, who's having a really good season.
Yes.
Watkins having a really good season and all of that. But this is also a Villa team. Who did he have? Douglas Luiz. Because he was suspended.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because in the last
I was wondering that because I didn't see him on the pitch. So
he got I think a second yellow card not a second yellow card, a yellow card in their last game, which was against, I can't remember what it was. And I saw that game. He got a yellow card and you could see he was so deflated. Like he had a shot in his shirt. And that's because I think he gets a too much bad actually.
Oh, wow.
And if he didn't get a card in that game and this one, it would have been cleaned up.
Oh, wow.
All of that, because towards the end of the season, those yellow cards get like forgotten and you start on a clean slate, stuff like that. So, kickoff, Liverpool had already lost.
Yeah.
I feel like in the first half, you guys were kind of okay.
Yeah,
there was that Trossard chance, which Emi Martinez saved with his foot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's a great chance. And I hope that doesn't come back to bite you guys.
Well, it did.
Now, to lose at home again.
Yes.
This reminded me of last season, the game against Brighton.
Oh, yeah.
At the Emirates.
Yeah.
Lost 3-0 while you were still definitely in the title race. And I felt like after that game, in the league, you guys were like, okay, yeah. I think morale went really down. Because I still have the picture of De Zerbi running on the sidelines at Emirates, jumping and punching the air and all of that.
Yeah.
And then to see Unai celebrating on the touchline again at Emirates at this stage of the season. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, this was a huge, with the season Villa have had, this was a huge win for them.
Well,
so
the thing is, the two teams are fighting for stuff. Villa are fighting for Champions League football. Arsenal are fighting for the title.
Yep.
So the game is an important game for both teams.
Yep.
Arsenal have just seen Liverpool lose. Villa had seen Spurs lose the day before.
Yeah.
So both teams had stuff to fight for. But you are fighting for the title.
Yep.
In front of your home fans.
Yep.
So to lose the game that way, I think is definitely painful anyway. And to concede 2 goals in 90 seconds.
Yeah. That to me, I was, and in the manner that they conceded as well was really frustrating for me.
90 seconds.
Because in the first half, we were pretty much the dominant team for the most part.
For the most, yeah.
And I mean, Villa had their moments. Villa had their moments. Watkins at the post, of course, but like we had pretty much most of the ball. We played our football, you know. But I felt like that we should have had a goal. Like we weren't as threatening as we should have been to like pretty much, you know, like get them to chase us in the second half. So in the second half, obviously, Villa comes out like, okay, like we have a chance at this now.
Yeah, I felt like the second half was more balanced.
It was more balanced.
It was more of a competition. It was more of a game where you could see, okay, this could go anyway.
Yeah.
Tielemans' effort, which went
the crossbar,
and the post, and I'm like, ooh. Arsenal, you got to be careful now.
Yep.
You do. Because when things like that begin to happen, Villa as a team begin to grow in confidence.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they know, we could actually win this.
Yeah.
Here at the Emirates, we could win this. And that's what they did.
Yep.
And you can't blame anybody.
No.
They played well.
They played well,
worthy
yeah.
of the 3 points.
We didn't play well.
Yeah,
so
they did what they had to do, which was shut you guys out and get goals on the other end. Kalas.
Well, I will say this though. We should have, and we could have, and we should have done better, because there were quite a few moments where like it was quite easy to break their back line and go through.
Possibly.
Havertz had quite a few chances where he just kind of like you know how he makes the sneaky runs and then gets through, and he did that.
But Havertz playing in the midfield was kind of surprising for me.
Yeah, I think
in that game, I mean,
there were a few lineup, decisions that I would have preferred to see maybe differently. Maybe Jorginho should have been in instead of Havertz, or maybe but it's tough when we have a squad like this now, where like who do you bench, and so I think Mikel went for maybe a more attacking approach, and also Havertz is really good off the ball. Like he tracks back, he defends, he has pace, so he works hard in that sense, and so I think that's what Mikel was probably wanting. But number one, credit to Villa, they got their win.
Yeah, you can't. They
did that, but also we were poor in the second half. Like it's just
after the second goal.
Yeah,
I think the camera spanned the stadium and you can see fans leaving.
Yeah.
About 5 minutes later, I felt like half the stadium had gone.
Yeah, they left.
And I don't know if I was surprised, but I didn't feel like that was a good sight to see.
Well, no.
I didn't feel like it was a good sight.
There's multiple reasons for that.
Okay, please give us some of them. As an Arsenal guy, I'm not sure I understand why.
Well, one of them
apart from the fact that you were losing.
Well,
in that game. But the amount of empty seats that the camera spanned on, and I'm like, what?
Well, there's a few reasons. One, obviously, this needed to be a win. This was probably the perfect time to get a win.
Yeah, after Liverpool losing
their match, right? So that was, I think, a disappointment.
Because if you had won, you would have gone back to the top.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we would have been a point, I think, ahead of City.
Okay.
I think towards maybe the end of the match, right before the first goal, I think Arsenal were probably looking at going, okay, we can take a point from this. And if we take a point, that's okay. We would have still been a point behind City. And so, okay, it's not a win, but it's a point, So I think to get to that point and then to concede the way that we did, and then let them get the second goal that they did, I think the manner of losing was like, plus also, let's be real, once you're losing, it's like, okay, there's really not much to see here. Let's just take the early train and get home without and a lot of fans do that, when they see, okay, team's losing, no point really staying back for anything. Like we just kind of get out before it gets all crowded. So actually, that there may be a practical reason, but I think part of it was also the fact that when we could have gone up and kept, this sort of lead, we've pretty much given the title race in City's hands now.
You guys and Liverpool have done that.
Yep.
So not just you guys, Liverpool are also.
Both. So anyway, that's in City's hands now. That was one. The other reason is Unai Emery. I don't think many Arsenal fans like Unai Emery after how his time ended.
Is there a reason why?
I think just where the club ended up, I think there were a lot of things that just were not going right. We talked about Xhaka just a little bit before, right? Like that was one of the things. The Ozil situation as well, like that started while he was still manager. So there was that. He bought a bunch of players that just did not work. I don't think any of those players that he had brought in have stayed. I think all of them have been moved on. So yeah, I think just also I think he did some good. He got us to a final. That was really
I
good.
was going to talk about that. Like, Europa League final against
that
Chelsea.
was definitely really good. But then also at that point at least, the start was once he's gotten to a final, he hasn't lost it. Mm-hmm. And then he lost it. So like anyway, but I think just where the club ended up with him and when he left, like I don't think a lot of Arsenal fans really like Unai Emery.
So seeing him celebrate on the sidelines at the Emirates,
it's very annoying. It's very annoying. You don't want that. Either at Villa Park or at the Emirates, you don't want that.
Well, at Villa Park, you can't help it. You can't help it.
I hope next season we thrash them. That's my hope.
This season they have done the double over you guys.
Yes, that's why I'm like it's more annoying.
Yeah, they've done the double over you guys.
So that's the second reason.
And I don't think you've got. You guys haven't scored a goal against them.
No.
It was 1-0 at the Villa.
No.
2-0 at the Emirates.
Yep.
Aggregate 3-0.
Yep.
Sweet God.
So that's that. The third reason is Emi Martinez.
I was going to talk about that guy.
So there's that too.
Because at the end of the game, he was doing the fist pump stuff with the fans.
That's all that nonsense he does.
Whoa!
So
what a day to be alive.
So there's the Villa are like becoming more and more of like Arsenal's Achilles heel. And so my hope is next season we absolutely destroy them. So we'll see.
So let's understand what Sunday looked like for you.
Yes.
You walk into a game, not literally. Not literally you anyway. You get what I mean. But you walk into the game against Villa going, Liverpool have just lost. If we win this, we're up.
Yep.
Top of the table. You see your former goalkeeper, Emi Martinez, make that save from Trossard.
That save, let's not give him too much credit for that save. Bro. But listen, let's not give him too much credit because Trossard should have finished better.
It is what it is.
But anyway, yes.
So you see that happen. And then while that is happening, Xhaka in Germany is scoring a screamer to give Leverkusen the second goal in the title deciding game.
Yeah.
By the end of the game, your game, you're losing 2-0. You had seen Unai Emery celebrate on the sideline at the Emirates. In the same day, your former player, Granit Xhaka, wins the league. On the same day, you most likely bottle the league.
Well, I wouldn't call this bottling.
Well, would you still win? Do you think you'll still win the Premier League?
I think it's still open. We didn't think Liverpool would screw up the way they did this weekend.
Well, they have.
And they have. So
not just this weekend.
I wouldn't put it past City as well. Like, they could have they could go to Brighton and,
They haven't played Brighton?
Well, who do they play? I don't know who they play.
I know they have Wolves.
I just know their fixtures are much easier.
They have Wolves, Spurs, and I think Everton, I guess. But you guys also have Spurs, you have United, you have Chelsea. So it's not like if City don't drop points, you would never drop points.
No,
the funny thing is you could actually go on and win all your games.
Because
I had Arteta say something like, if we had been on the run we had been on, where we had so many wins in any other league, we'll be like 8 points clear. But in the Premier League, that doesn't happen.
Well, there you go.
Good for him.
Yeah.
So Sunday has, at least this last Sunday, has been a great day for you as an Arsenal fan.
Yes.
So now Granit Xhaka is now on the list of the players who have left Arsenal and won the league somewhere else.
Yeah.
He joins Robin van Persie. He joins Bakary Sagna. He joins Gaia Clichy. He joins Sami Nasri. All these guys who leave Arsenal, do you feel like there's a curse on Arsenal about the league? If you talk about the Kane curse, should we talk about the Arsenal curse?
Well, there's no Arsenal curse, bro. The Kane curse is real. Because look at that.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because look at
that.
Because
he's a former Spurs guy.
look at that. Well, let me tell you this, though. Out of all of this, as bad as this weekend was, there was still a silver lining. Spurs lose 4-0.
We were going to talk about that game.
To Newcastle.
Yeah.
They lose 4-0 to Newcastle. We let Aston Villa win.
What do you mean by we let
They put a dent in Spurs' top 4 hopes. And then back in Germany, Kane loses the Bundesliga. So overall, this was Tottenham. I don't know what to call it.
It was a roller coaster kind of way.
It was terrible for them. So we take some of that joy.
It's all right. It's all right. What to do? Well, for me, as a Chelsea guy in this context,
That's you.
I have nothing.
You're just kind of cruising,
bro.
You're just kind of eating your popcorn,
bro. I'm at the movies now, right, man. Watching this blockbuster unfold.
Well, it is a blockbuster. I mean, quite honestly, I was like, okay, the best would be a win for Arsenal. The worst would be a draw. I honestly did not see.
So
them
you
losing.
got worse than
yes,
the worst.
It was a tragic end. It was tragic. It was sad. And then, of course, with Liverpool and how that went for them, I felt sad for them.
I also felt sad for the two teams, Liverpool and Arsenal, because I wanted the title race to go all the way to the final day.
Yeah, I think it still will.
Hopefully, Hopefully, yeah.
Quite honestly, if you want my honest thoughts, I think it could go down to goal difference. I think it could end that.
That is possible.
And if that does,
you guys have the best goal.
I've been thinking about it. I've been praying. I'm like, Lord, please. I'm just gonna be realistic. Let it go down to goal difference.
Look at this guy wants to win the league,
and we'll win it. Just get us to goal difference.
If Arsenal win the league, I would find this place a hard place to come to. Because this guy will let me rest, man. Come on.
I will say this. If we do win the league, though, which is open, it's open until the last day. That's how I feel. Unless, like, in the next few weeks, City and Liverpool and Arsenal just lose everything. Then it's khalas, done. But if it does go down, I will be so happy because this has been a crazy title race.
It's been a great season.
How it's gone back and forth between the three of them.
It's been a great season.
Like, that's been really cool.
No doubt. It's been a great season.
I don't want City to win. It's too much, man. Somebody else needs to win.
Well, I'll just keep quiet for now. But let's talk about that Spurs game. Spurs go to Newcastle, knowing that they are in a race with Villa United for the fourth spot. Because right now, we know that the UCL changes format next year. And there might be a possibility of fifth place going in. But with the results that English teams are having in UEFA tournaments, it doesn't seem like that the coefficient thing is going to favor England. But the easiest thing to do is to get fourth spot. And if you get that, you're sure. You're not gambling on, it might not come to England.
So there's no playoffs anymore for the fourth place?
I think there still is.
Oh, there still is.
I think there still is. I think there still is.
Okay.
But all of that's being the case, they go to Newcastle, and I think if Werner misses a chance at the start, I can't find a chance. But then Spurs do not have a great game. And one of the things that I remember is at some point in the season when Mickey van der Ven was out with an injury, and Big Ange will play Romero and maybe, what's his name? The guy with the mohawk. Can't remember his name now for some reason.
The guy with the mohawk?
Yeah, well, is it mohawk? Yeah. The Spurs defender who was in Barca, but Barca bought him and sold him immediately.
Oh,
Royale. Emerson Royale. Yeah, that guy.
That's funny thing by itself.
So
but anyway,
having Mickey back, I felt like, okay, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
But for the first two goals, he was sat on his butt. For the first two goals, I tell you. So Isak's first goal, he cuts the ball back, Mickey sleeps, sits on his butt. He scores. Seconds later, like 18 seconds later, Anthony Gordon gets another chance, cuts the ball back. Mickey's sitting on his butt again. And he gets the ball in.
I can't remember if I saw that live or if it was later on, but I remember seeing that where like they were still showing the replays.
Yes, they were still showing the replay of the first goal, and the second goal had gone in. No,
they didn't even show the goal. They just showed the celebration. The second.
By the time the replay is taken off, we see Gordon celebrating. And I'm like, bro, that quick?
Yeah.
But I don't think they had a great game. He even took Son off in the second half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Took Son off.
That's brutal.
Yeah. So I think by then he had already realized, the game is gone. Because it was halftime. It was 2-0 by halftime. And then Isak makes it 3. I still don't understand how he and Mickey again were left alone. But he gets the goal. Then Fabian Schär gets a header to make it 4-0. But you look at that and you go, I think, shout out to Big Ange. He's doing a great job. He could still make it to the Champions League spot. But some of the games like that, when they happen, you go, wow, I don't think anybody would have predicted a 4-0 loss for Spurs.
This is a Premier League.
And this is the same Spurs who visited St. James Park last season, and we are 4-0 down in like 30 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, if you remember, this was just after Antonio Conte did that rant of an interview and got fired, or whatever the word they used, fired or mutual consent, whatever, and he left. And what was the guy, Stalinio, who was his assistant, took over. And then that happened, and he was sacked immediately after. And then Ryan Mason came in again as interim. Yeah, I think that game ended 5-1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So even at the end of this game, the Newcastle fans were singing, "It's happening again. It's happening again." And I'm like, oh, wow. I felt sad for the visiting fans.
Yeah,
to visit one stadium difficult. Twice and to leave with a 4-goal margin loss.
It's a reputation.
I feel like you're happy now.
I mean,
now we're talking about Spurs losing.
That's tough, actually.
Yeah, that is tough. But shout out to Newcastle, not just for the gameplay, for their shirt. So their shirts, instead of having Seller, they had RNID, I believe, Royal National Institute for Deaf People, something like that. So they actually launched new shirts that had sensors on the shirts.
Wow.
And the idea was for the deaf people who can't hear all the beautiful decibels that come out of St. James Park when the goal goes in. The idea was when that happens, those sensors would vibrate so that they would also feel that energy and that vibe in the atmosphere there in St. James Park. And I felt like, wow, that was just a beautiful thing to do.
Yeah.
I saw a video. Definitely, I did watch the game, but I think I missed it. I later saw a video of Dan Burn, I think after the first goal or so, you doing sign language to show something like, we love the fans. And the camera then spans on some young kids who are deaf, but they had those shirts on.
Yeah.
And you could see that the vibrations from the shirts were making them happy. But then seeing Burn do that I think it was just...
That's beautiful.
Shout out to Newcastle.
Wow.
Shout out to Newcastle. I think this is the first time he's ever done. I've not heard of it before now. That kind of shirt technology.
Yeah.
So fans are in the stadium, and the fact that they can't hear something doesn't mean that they miss out on that feeling.
Yeah.
Of this is St. James Park.
Yeah.
With all the noise when the goal goes in. So shout out to Newcastle.
That's beautiful, man. That's really cool. Yeah. I didn't even know that, but like it just reminds you of like, you know, like with people who have, you know, those kind of different, you know, things, whether it's, you know, like not being able to speak or hear or anything like that. It's a very different world.
It is.
You know, like you can't imagine it. But
Imagine a blind person watching a game.
It's a very different world.
Easy. You need somebody who sit with him and tell him what is going on and all of that. So shout out to Newcastle.
Yeah, it's really cool. Really cool. Anyway, we've talked a little bit about fourth place. Of course, United drew with Bournemouth.
Yeah, 2-2.
After I
saw that game.
I guess they came back from 2-1 to like.
They came back twice. So it was 1-0. Twice. 1-1. It was 2-1. They made it 2-2. So, and I think in that game they had like maybe only 2 shots on target.
Oh wow!
2 goals. As at when they scored the second goal, that was just their second shot on target.
Yeah.
They might have gotten another one towards the end of the game, but it wasn't a very classic performance from United. Even Garnacho got hooked off at halftime.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so that was kind of surprising. I know his pass was kind of wayward for the first goal, but I don't know if he was taken off because of that or he wasn't just in the game.
He wanted to try something else.
Yeah, because I felt like Garnacho has been one of the shining lights for them this season.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so he was taken off and Amad Diallo came in, but still 2-2. Towards the end of the game though, Bournemouth were given a penalty.
Yes.
And VAR looked at it and said, "Oh, the contact was just outside the box, so it was taken aback." And I feel like Anthony, the Bournemouth coach. I feel like he didn't agree with that. Because yes, the first contact is outside the box, but I feel like there's much more contact when he comes into the box. But I feel like the first contact is what counts anyway, so I have no issue with that. But that's 2-2, as you said, for United. Brentford hosting Sheffield, 2-0 winners. I think that is a good thing for them because you could actually say they are now safe. You could say they are safe now because that game, I think, gives them 32 points there. I can't remember. But you could actually say, okay, Brentford are safe. Relegation is not their issue now.
Yep.
But you can't say the same for Burnley.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Burnley, in the moments where they're able to get by, they shot themselves in the foot.
Yes, they did.
I feel really bad for the keeper.
I don't know how that guy would have slept on Saturday night.
Yeah, it is.
I really don't.
That is hard.
And this is because the game before against Everton, which they lost 1-0 at Goodison Park, his error was the reason why they didn't win that.
Oh, wow.
Or not, they didn't win. They didn't get a point. Because I think, at the end of the first half, he gets the ball, he's dressing the ball, trying to maybe see if he can find a pass or something. Calvert-Lewin closes him down. He kicks the ball, bounces off Calvert-Lewin into the post. That's how Burnley lost that game, 1-0. I feel like the coaching team must have spoken to him and done, we have faith in you, we're going to keep you, don't worry. By keep you, not like we're not going to sell you, like you're still going to start the next game.
Right.
You're our first choice goalkeeper. Because he actually starts the game, which is at home to Brighton.
Right.
Burnley are 1-0 up. And funny enough, their own goal is near carbon copy of what he did the previous game against Everton. The Brighton goalkeeper stays on the ball too much. Not even stays on the ball too much, because I think Baleba's pass to him wasn't the best.
Yeah.
So Brownhill, shout out to Brownhill for pursuing. Chases the ball, keeper hits it, he goes off him into the post. I feel like Burnley would have been imagining, after a long time, we could get 3 points.
Sure.
And then, I think Sander Berger is the guy who passes the ball back to the goalkeeper. He tries to trap it with his studs, but the ball just... And he runs, flies back in to get it, but the ball
too late.
So I think about that and I go, who do you blame? The defender? Who gives the back pass? And I believe that one of the things players should know is when you're giving a back pass to your goalkeeper, play the ball outside the perimeter of the goal. So if you're giving a back pass to your goalkeeper, you don't play the back pass to him in goal. You play it either of the sides. So if for any reason you concede a corner kick, that's better than conceding the goal that way. So who do you blame? Do you blame the defender for passing the ball, or do you blame the goalkeeper for not controlling it?
Yeah.
Who do you blame?
Well, I mean, there's a few different things, like you just mentioned. I think that's definitely one thing, and I think I heard some commentators talking about how this is something like you learn very early on in football. You do not like stand in goal basically and take a pass. I think something that this also brings to perspective is why some goalkeepers are highly regarded. People like Edison and Alisson,
ball at their feet,
or I guess Onana, David Raya. Like there's a bunch of these goalkeepers there's a few others as well. Some top keepers. Obviously, you got your usual shot stoppers, right? But then these days, it's a lot more about goalkeepers being able to use their feet. I think that's just a reminder that that's still not like that much of a normal thing with goalkeepers. There's still, like keepers who just aren't used to playing with their feet that well.
Makes sense.
So that's something, as I was thinking about that right now, that's coming to my mind. It's like that. I think we need to remember, like, that's why Ederson is Ederson. That's why Alisson is Alisson. You know, like these guys are like really, or Manuel Neuer. Yeah, that's yeah. And so those guys are highly, you know, regarded because of their ability to, you know, play with their feet and not just, you know, be the shot stoppers.
Makes sense.
But I think, sadly enough, you have to blame the goalkeeper like this. Well, I guess it's the back pass and the goalkeeper, and but nonetheless, just sad for Burnley. And I think the bottom three is slowly becoming a very solid.
Yeah, so you have Sheffield at the bottom, and then you have Burnley just above them, and then you have Luton. So these are the three teams that just came from the Championship.
Yep.
I feel like Luton are the team that have some kind of hope.
Yeah, I think they're tied with
I think Forest,
who's right above them. Yeah,
Forest is
well, maybe
the
were
defense or something, whatever, or even if it's just a point or two. Actually, I think Luton, Forest, and whoever is just above them, I think Everton is just 1 point between Luton and Forest, and 1 point between Forest and I think Everton. But this is before Everton play Chelsea anyway. So let's see how it goes. I feel like the relegation fight is still on, but not for the two guys. I feel like for Luton and the two above them. So there are three teams, but there are two slots. So one of them must get relegated. So let's see how it goes. That's what I can say.
Yeah, that's good. And you mentioned Everton. They had like a 2-point deduction.
Yeah, so at the start, earlier in the season, they had a 10-point deduction. That was reduced to 6 points. So 4 points were taken off. And then about 2 weeks ago or so, another 2-point deduction was put on them. So yeah, what to do?
Yeah, that's quite sad for their season. It's been quite difficult. It is. Anyway, I think that's about it for the Premier League.
Yeah. Let's move.
We're at the Champions League quarterfinals, the first leg last week.
Yep, we did.
It's quite level.
Yeah, I think it was very competitive. The score lines,
a lot of goals.
Yep, score lines are also very helpful in the sense that I don't think there's any one team that can say, "Oh yeah, we have qualified."
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I mean, there's two teams I think who are in like a winning position at the moment.
So you have Barca and Atletico.
Yeah.
So Atletico 2-1 winners at home to Borussia Dortmund. It could have been 2-2. What's his name? Julian Brandt with a header off the post. In the 90th minute, it was 90 something.
Yep.
And then you have Barcelona going to Parc des Princes and winning there 3-2.
Yep.
Is it a good thing? Yes. But can you say Barca have qualified? I don't think so. In that game, they did really well to keep Kylian Mbappe silent.
Yeah, that's surprising, yeah. And they played a lot of youngsters as well.
Yeah, they did. So they had Kubasi in the back. Kubasi is like 17, 16, whatever.
Oh, wow.
And they had Lamine Yamal start, who is... I think we've spoken about that guy so much, we still forget he's a teenager.
Yeah.
We actually forget the guy is, I think, 17, 18, whatever. And I think Kubasi had a great game. Araujo had a beautiful game. So it was a great game for them. So I do agree. Pedri came back in.
Okay.
Came in, and I think his first touch was a beautiful assist for Rafinha.
Wow.
So that was great. So shout out to Barca. Let's see what they can do in the second leg.
Well, and Dembele scored against him.
And he actually celebrated. Yeah, he did celebrate. So I guess his loyalty is like elsewhere now.
Hey,
clearly.
Champions League, for some reason, brings this out. Even Serge Gnabry celebrated against Arsenal when he scored.
Well, he left you guys very different.
Yeah, still, but he didn't leave with a sour
You guys
taste.
have had a funny week, though. Yeah. Serge Gnabry coming back and scoring. Well, we'll get to that. When we get to Arsenal, we'll talk about that. But so shout out to Barca and Atletico. So they go into the second leg
with some hope,
winning position, but it could change. It's just a 1-goal difference.
Yeah.
And there are no away goals anymore. So Barca can't hold on to, we scored 3 goals and makes no difference anymore. Yeah, so
I always felt like the away goal was such a weird rule.
It was, but I think it made the Champions League unique.
It made it unique, but also so unfair. I don't know.
It's
You
if
got-
if
you
you
know,
have
like-
home advantage, use it. If someone gets an away goal, it's just more valuable, for lack of a better word.
That's
So those were two of the games. The other two games were Madrid played City and Arsenal played Bayern. I feel like the Madrid City game was a spectacle.
yeah.
It was just a beautiful game. First of all, the goals were screamers.
Mm-hmm.
Top bins
Yep.
by Phil Foden. Valverde and that volley.
Yep.
That volley was just beautiful.
Yep.
To catch it that sweet on the first time. Ooh, I could watch that goal again and again.
Yep.
I actually saw the UCL's picks for goal of the week. 4 goals were picked. 3 of those goals were from the same game. It was just screamer after screamer. Then to see Guardiola get his first goal for City,
Oh yeah.
that calling shot was beautiful. Funny enough, he also got another goal at the weekend against Luton,
He did.
which was also a beautiful goal.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this guy doesn't score tap-ins.
He's a big guy, man.
He doesn't
He's-
score
yeah.
tap-ins.
He's-
Yeah, so I think for City it was a good game. Bernardo getting that free kick, which was kind of funny, but it was good. But you could see Real Madrid come back in like how many minutes they were winning. But guy, it's just well set up for the second leg.
Yeah. I think it'll be tough. Well, I say that it'll be tough for them. I don't know.
Well, last season they actually thrashed Madrid 4-0 at the Etihad to go into the final.
Yeah.
So I believe Don Carlo has that at the back of his mind. Like,
Well, he could, but this is also City, who like this season,
yeah,
surprisingly enough, City, even though like there's been like the, the post-treble hangover or whatever people call it, they've been pretty chill. Like they're like,
they're
yeah,
still,
sure,
they're still
like,
there. They're top of the league now. They're in the FA Cup semi-final. Chelsea played them, which
doesn't help.
I'm not very confident. And they're in the UCL quarterfinal. So they are still in these conversations
They're gonna,
after winning the treble. So you got to give them their flowers. You just got to. So I think it's going to be a great game. The second leg, though, looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But then you have Arsenal play Bayern. Saka gets the first goal. And you just can't make this up. A former Arsenal guy gets the first goal. A former Spurs guy gets the second.
Both which apparently we gifted them. So that was very frustrating.
What
quite
a week
honestly.
for Arsenal.
Yeah.
What a week.
Yeah.
In the UCL, you have this. Gnabry and Kane. Over the weekend, Emi Martinez and Unai Emery.
Yeah.
And you have Xhaka doing what he does, what he did in Germany. I feel like the average Arsenal fan would have just been saying, if we could go back in time, we'd erase this week.
Yeah.
Just
Truly, yeah.
clean the week out.
I mean,
like, it never existed.
minus the Xhaka thing, I think everybody's really happy for Xhaka. He
Yeah.
deserves to have, that sort of a successful season. So minus that, yeah, it was pretty stupid.
What a week.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for Liverpool, though. Losing 3-0 at home
Yeah.
to Atalanta
Yeah.
and then losing 1-0 to Crystal Palace. But Ali Diaz it's not done to them by familiar faces.
Yeah.
You guys, familiar faces, bro.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing for you all is you didn't lose the game against
No,
Bayern.
yeah, we got that goal with Trossard at the
Yeah.
end. So that
And
was
then you
good.
had that Saka appeal for the penalty at the
Oh
end,
my goodness.
which the ref didn't give. And I think Arteta has been trying his best to control himself.
Oh, he has.
I think he has.
I was actually surprised.
Because I was thinking he was going to go to the ref and act out a movie scene or something.
Well, I was yelling at the TV by that point when I saw that. Because I only caught the second half. So I saw the goal, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, good. We have at least a draw.
Yeah.
But then that happens at the end. And I'm like, how many times have we seen that given?
In the Premier League or in the Champions League? That's your question.
Well,
How many times have we seen that given? Where?
Well, in general, like that, you have your keeper just kind of like flying out, basically. Now, you could argue that wasn't a heavy challenge or whatever, but he does stick his leg out. He does do that.
But it could be. Now, I'm not here to say it was a penalty or it wasn't. Could you actually say Saka was trying to buy the foul?
No, I don't think so. Honestly, and that's like regardless as an Arsenal fan, I really do think I don't think Saka like goes down for dives like that. He was tripped. I think the ref just sees that and goes, well, like...
Well, VAR didn't call him to go. This
which
called
I
obvious
am
error.
quite honestly shocked by it. Like, that just, like... to
And
me,
you could see Saka wasn't happy. He went back. He went to the
yeah.
ref, and the ref kept telling the assistant, take this guy
Oh,
away.
I was yelling at my TV.
And
honestly.
even, I
was
think
very frustrated.
Thomas Muller was trying to calm him down.
Well, they had their own little sort of pity party.
Oh, yeah. No, they had the issue of Gabriel picking the ball up with his hand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that actually happened?
Well, see, this is the thing. They were so upset about that, like, by Bayern Munich.
Well, Gabriel did pick the ball with his hand.
Well, he did, but it was like, there was probably not like a, hey, like, I'm picking this up after, like, you gave the whistle or whatever. It was just like, hey, let's reset.
But when he picked it up, was it not because... By that, I mean, the ball had come to him from David Raya, I believe.
Yeah, but, like, I don't think Raya, like, kicked it as just, like, this is like a pass. Because which footballer in their right mind would be like, you know what, I'm just going to pick this ball up right now. Like, who would do that?
You never know. Like, people have, like, 5 seconds where they lose their mind.
Maybe Luis Suarez. Remember that? Like, the hand thing? Like, maybe that. But, like... I don't think any footballer would be like, mid-match, I'm just going to pick this ball up right now. Like, like, come on. Like, and so, like, credit to the referee for not, like, going, like...
Because I think I remember Tommy Tuchel not happy with that going...
the players ran, like,
that's a penalty for us and all of that.
It's like, come on.
But I think the ref's excuse was also funny. He said something like, oh,
that doesn't help either.
Yeah. His response to that was...
that doesn't help either. No, and that's fair. Like, that's not a helpful...
Because he made it seem like, oh, let's not give it against them, the guy. So... when Tommy was talking about, and we spoke to the ref, and he told us, I'm like, yeah, if I was Tommy, I would also not be happy. Like, that's not good enough.
That's not good. I agree with that. Yeah. That's not good enough. Like, when I heard that as well, I was like, he said what? That's the reason? Like, you could have said anything else that would have been a lot more helpful, but instead you say this. Like, and then he doesn't give the penalty at the end. Anyway.
What to do?
That was an interesting call. But yeah, other than that, I'm okay with a draw. We should have won it, honestly.
They also could have. I remember, I think it was Coleman who got the cutback and hit the ball, but went off the post.
Yeah.
So it could have also been 3-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a great game to watch. Great game to watch.
I mean, that I want to say that's open.
I think it is.
I don't know how it's gonna be going to the Allianz, but
I think it is.
Let's see.
Bayern,
they're shaky.
They are shaky, definitely. They have just seen Leverkusen lift the Bundesliga, so we don't know if that would affect them in any way.
Yeah.
Would that spur them on to go, this is all we have left to fight for in the season and go all like guns blazing? Or would that just bust whatever bubbles they still have and go, the season is over anyway. So we really don't know. So let's see what Bayern that comes to the stadium that day.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, but I still feel like it's very open.
Yeah.
3-3.
2-2.
Oh, 2-2. Sorry, it's the City one that's 3-3.
Yeah. That's which is also open.
That's also open. Yeah. So I feel like you guys can still qualify for the semis.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, if we get through.
Yeah, I think you can.
Let's see how that goes. Let me check if there's any Premier League match that's big next week. Well, it's catch-up week. There's a lot of catch-up matches that are happening.
I think it's the FA Cup week.
And the FA Cup as well, yeah.
That's all right.
Which you guys play Manchester City.
Stop reminding me.
And Manchester United plays Coventry.
I think I would rather be in United's place right now.
Yeah.
I'd rather play Coventry than play
City. But, yeah, I mean, either way, though, it would if United lose, that would be pretty bad for them. So, which they could very well.
If they do lose, like, if they don't make it to the FA Cup final, I feel like Ten Hag's job is
good as gone. You think so?
Almost gone. By almost, the only reason he would stay is if they don't get a better replacement, which I think they can't get a better replacement.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, semi-final date against Coventry City. You are Manchester United.
Yeah.
You have to get to the final.
Yep.
You just have to get to the final.
Yep.
But this is football.
So
let's see how it goes. But if they don't get to the final, I would not be in any way surprised if he loses his job at the end of the season.
Yep.
Won't be surprised.
I guess on that note, at that cliffhanger, we'll just leave it there.
Let's leave it there.
We'll see how the Champions League pans out, and if the two English clubs can make it through, or if it'll be...
Yeah. The funny thing is, if they do make it through, they play each other in the semis.
Yeah. That's...
So at least we're sure that if they both make it through, there will be an English club in the final.
Let's see. Let's see what happens. Anyway, I think that's it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Thank God.
Is there anything more?
Nah. Oh, dude, big shout out to Ndika, who collapsed.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
the Roma player who collapsed in the game over the weekend.
And he's okay now, yeah.
Yes, so we've seen stuff online. I think I saw a picture of him showing his muscles.
Yeah, so that
in a hospital bed and all, but we're grateful to God.
Yeah, he's okay, yeah.
We don't feel like, well, life happens definitely, but we don't want to lose another player right now. So we're grateful that he's well, he's recovering, and he's okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. No, well said. Yeah. All the best to him. Anyway, guys, like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell us what you thought. Hey, tell us who you think is going to win the Premier League and the Champions League. It's getting pretty tight.
It is.
Things are wrapping up slowly. So yeah, tell us what you guys think, what your predictions are, who you think is going to maybe get into the Champions League. I don't know. Tell us all those things. We want to see them. But anyway, thanks for sticking with us till the end of this episode, and catch them in the next one.
Yes, we will.